Okay, we are live over on YouTube. It's just the different.
Yeah, I'm going to send them a link.
Yeah.
Oh, they're on a different link too?
Yep, we're on a different link. It created a whole different link for some reason. Like I said, me and Restream's fixed to have a conversation, and I think I'm going to dump them and just go straight to using Facebook or YouTube again.
Okay, guys, I've got it. I've got it plastered out there 3 times, at least in the actual chat.
Okay.
I thought YouTube got rid of that stuff.
It looks like one person got in.
Yeah, there's the Dutchman's Woodchuck is.
Oh, man. Aussie Man was out there,
Aussie
but I think he
Man's
probably out there.
Yeah.
It is.
Renzi was there. Jimbo's there. Hey, Jimbo.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the mix-up tonight, guys. I'm having total problems with the program I use called Restream, and it's the one that broadcasts between Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the same time. And every time I turn around, they alter. They're trying to make it better, so they alter it. Actually, you can go live with Restream now. You don't even have to go through YardStream. The problem is, or StreamYard. The problem is you can only go live with one person. I want to have the whole panel on, so therefore I still need to use StreamYard. But it's making it more and more difficult for me to use StreamYard and put it on Restream, which would broadcast it to all 3 channels. So that's what the problem was tonight.
I just noticed it might be glare from my bald head up here.
Could be. Yeah. Could be.
But yes, so sorry about that. But there's, it is what it is. I'm gonna have a prayer meeting with Restream this week and tell them I'm getting sick and tired of every time I turn around I got to watch a video. It seems like on a Friday I'm going to have to start watching videos on how to use Restream on Saturday. Because that's the way it's turning out. So
they're all part of that computer thing that I don't understand. You got something that's working good, so let's go change it.
Yeah, it used to be great. I would go in and it would tell what channel, add a channel, and you would tell it YouTube, and you would give it the information and type in your password. Boom. You would tell it Twitch, give the information, it would add it. You would tell it Facebook, give it my sweet Simply Wooden Creations page. Boom, it would add it. Didn't have a problem with it for a long, long time. Last year and this year, they have changed it 3 different times. And each time, it makes it more and more difficult for you to figure out how to get it to work. So, and I'm paying for the service. It seems like they would send out an informational thing to you saying, hey, we just changed our Restream. You need to watch this video to learn how to use it. You know what I'm saying? But they don't do that.
No, they're growing too fast, growing pains.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong.
Hey,
So
Russ.
it's just, yes.
Is this the same program that at the end of the show, you always hit that other button?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Is that the same program?
Yeah. Tonight I only have to hit one button. Yeah. Tonight I only have to hit one button. So glad y'all are out there. Ted, just to let y'all know, Donna bought herself a 3D printer and has made.
Yes.
You want to show them what you made? Here, let me make you a solo.
Donna has been assimilated.
Yeah.
Yes. Donna,
you've gone to the dark side.
Gone to the
Yep.
dark side.
I have.
Gone to the dark side. She's made her
I quit doing the other one because I got feet down. There's the feet.
Yep.
But I quit doing it because that one was so slow, and it was just constant problems.
Yeah.
Right here, I got him level and all that. Gave it to him. Said, "Here, you play with it." Now I'm back.
Yeah. You won't have the problems you had with the other one, and I hooked mine up and went with the basic settings in this Cura, and it printed right the first time.
Yeah, it was like 30, 45 minutes all, and the loading, the extracting, and putting. That's so much easier.
Oh yeah, yeah. You tell it to load, and you put it in, and it just pulls it right in. You tell it to extract, it pulls it right out. Yeah.
Yep. I love it.
Yep. All right. Tonight we were going to talk about our consumables and how we replace them. Chris come up with the idea, so if it's a failure, it's his fault.
No, it'll be
So
great.
anyway, but no, I think it's a good idea. So we're going to go down the panel, and if y'all have, I can't read the chat because it's over here on this computer. So if y'all help me watch the chat, I would appreciate it. I tell you what, I know what I'm going to do, but I'll have to mute it. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, and
I'll put
you can
YouTube.
Pop out the chat too.
Don't hit the wrong button.
No, I'm going to bring YouTube over here, and I'm going to open it up. I'll just have to mute it.
Well, open it up and then just pop out the chat and close the YouTube, and you still get the chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do.
And then I close the YouTube so it don't echo and all that.
We switched over to take care of the dead air. We switched over to TDS, and all the issues went away.
Really?
Oh, wow, thank you,
All
Don.
the
I didn't know I
buffering.
could do that.
All the buffering, everything went away.
What happened?
We switched over to TDS and got rid of Spectrum, and all the problems went away.
Oh.
All the buffering and everything, and they got that 3 months free. And then
Very good.
after that, internet is $29 for 2 years. And then my wife got a TV package because I don't watch TV.
Okay, I did what y'all said, so I have the chat popped out, so now I can see it. Okay, great.
All right. Awesome. Welcome, Russ, to the show.
Yeah, really. What we mean by consumables is like screws, nails, glue, paint, all the consumables. So if you we'll start off right down the line with Jim. Do you have a certain number of, when you get down to something that you go, hey, I'm going to need to buy more of these, like a half a bottle of glue or whatever?
Usually when I know I'm going to do something, I just check to make sure I've got enough stuff to do it with. Glue I'm pretty bad with because I'll be at Home Depot or something and I'll just grab a bottle of glue when I know I'm going to make something because I don't know if the glue's good or not, or if it got air in it and cause problems with it. But and I'm a huge wood hoarder, so I don't have to.
No, never.
I don't even have to worry about that.
No hoarding here.
Yeah.
But as far
See,
as
but
painting
you-
things go like that, I'll check and see what I need. Screws too. I try to keep. If I go to Home Depot and replenish screws, I'll get the biggest box of them that I can, and then I just know I have them for a long time.
Yeah. I've got a habit, if I go down there, or let's say that I need a 90-degree elbow for plumbing, and I know it's not woodworking, but I won't buy one, I'll buy 3.
Yeah.
One to do the job. The second one's in case I screw the first one up, and the third one's just to have it in the drawer, so in case I need another one.
Yeah. Now, the last time my AC went out, I bought an extra contactor and an extra capacitor.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I
Just
didn't
to
have
have
to
it.
wait. Yeah. In case it
I
went
always
out on
buy-
a Sunday.
I always buy 2 just for the one I'm going to drop.
Yeah, exactly. Donald, do you have a?
Not particularly. I'm like Jim. If I know I got a project coming up, when I'm buying materials, that's what I'll buy. Glue, I get down to the bottle almost empty. I pick up the bottle the next time I'm in Lowe's or wherever. Screws, I don't have that much space, so I'm not going to buy a whole container. I'm going to buy what I need plus a little bit extra for droppage and loss and stuff like that. And other than that, that's my process.
We have Aussiemans out there, Frenzy, Wicked Truth, JJE, Dutchman's Work Shack, Lynn's handcrafted wood signs. Yeah, I think I said Aussie man. James Parker, he gave me a bunch of thumbs ups. Yeah, he gave me a ton of thumbs ups. So I appreciate that. JGE, I think I said him, but yeah, they're all out. Dan Inge from Dan Inge Woodworking's out there. Good to see you all. And like I said, I'm sorry for the mess up. We not totally my fault. I'm having problems with Restream, and I think I'm just going to get rid of them. We'll just be right here on YouTube, and that's the only channel we'll use from now on. You know.
Uh-oh, what just happened?
I'm looking at Shay Frenzy Wicked Truth, but then she takes dead speakers apart to get the magnets out of them. I do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I do.
And I'll pull the crossover networks out of the back of them, and everything else goes in the garbage.
Yeah, I take the magnets out of the speakers. Yeah. I do the same thing. Yes, and I've got them all over my shop, hanging up stuff. You know, they're strong magnets. A lot of them are too.
Oh yeah. Did you ever take a magnet out of a CD player or a hard drive?
A DVD
hard drives.
player.
Yeah,
hard drive.
Things are strong.
They are strong.
Right, Dixon. Do you have a set of what you buy before you?
Yes, I got a whole flock of stuff here, so just cut me off when you want. Talking about a Segway, these things are awesome. And you use these little cube magnets for holding things together while they're drying.
Oh, I never thought about that. That is a good idea.
And they really work good for if you're making cardstock buildings like this. They work awesome because they hold it together until it dries. So you can keep building and just use the square magnets to hold it together. So I bought a whole flock of these, talking about magnets. I'm going to get my little turntable out here, and there's this thing right here. These are handy. Get a bunch of these.
Oh, I've got a bunch of those.
Yeah. And you can even get replacement blades, so you don't have to keep buying boxes and wasting plastic. And if you ever get a chance, buy a set of these. They're a little bit more pricey, but they're awesome tweezers because they're spring loaded. The opposite way, they actually hold it together.
Right. Yeah.
And
I bought a whole set of what do they call them with the tip? X-Acto knives.
Yes. That's what I'm getting to
I found a whole set. There was like 6 of them for like $8 on Amazon on sale, and I bought 8 of them. Yep, right just like that. Yep. There you go. That's the same ones I bought.
Number 11 blades.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I got all my
I spread them around. They're in both of my shops. Yeah. They're in here in this room because I've turned this room into a 3D printing room too. So I have them everywhere.
Yep. And paint.
And another thing is the little. Do you have the little cutters for the PLA?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I don't have to buy them because when I have
but do you have a set you can show?
I bought so many printers that I have a pile of them things.
I know, but do you have a set you can show?
Yeah, there should be one hooked. Oh, it's in my other rotating device.
Here, I've got one.
Them little side cutters. They're miniature side cutters.
Yep.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Cutters.
Yep.
Small wire cutters. That's what I use.
One of my problems is we've got a big discount, like place that goes and buys out of hardware stores and stuff around us, and we go there on Saturdays because they have food and all kinds of stuff you can go buy. And I get stuff like this to put on the back of my laser cutting stuff to keep the smoke off the back of the laser. $10 for all that packing tape.
Yeah. I got to stay away from them places because otherwise it gets dangerous.
I just forget what I forget what I got, and I get home and I got.
This is not the one, but I bought because I kept on losing. I have 3 of these because I have 3 printers. Each one of them come with one, but I kept on losing them. I found a set of 9 of these for like $9. They were $1 a piece on Amazon, and I bought the whole set of 9. And I've got them all over the place now. So I turn around and there's one laying there, there's one laying here. So, but I mean,
same exact thing. Look.
Yep. Like, so if you need these, and let me tell you, PLA is not the only thing they will cut. They're for like a wire, a small wire for electronics.
Sure. Yeah.
They cut, they'll cut small dowels, wooden dowels. They'll cut all kinds of stuff.
They won't cut 120 volts. It'll melt one end.
Depends on if it's plugged in or not.
No,
I
but
bought
it cuts fingernails good.
This gallon. It was pretty cheap at Menards. I couldn't believe it, so I bought the whole gallon. And I'm not a woodworker, and I already used, it's down to here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that stuff is awesome. And
you can use Titebond to glue your paper projects together.
Yes, you water it 50-50, and it works awesome, and it dries twice as fast. And then one other thing quick that I want to bring up was don't throw your electric toothbrushes out. Put some Velcro on it and put sandpaper on it.
A mini sander.
For your little projects. Yeah, I just take it and you can peel it right off, and you make a bunch of little pads, and I put them on there, and it works really good for small things.
Yeah.
Electric toothbrush.
Nice. That's a nice
That's
one.
an awesome idea.
Yeah, that is.
Paul, I know you're going to probably be leaving here for too long. So what do you have to say about it?
In all honesty, I am so disorganized that I've got crap everywhere. But when I want to find it, I can't find it. So I buy more.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do me any good to buy stuff ahead of time because I'll put it someplace and forget where it is. And more than once, I've been tempted to take all the odd screws and nuts and bolts that I have and throw them out and just buy new when I need it, because I am totally disorganized, totally messy, and I really seriously have a problem with that, and it frustrates me. But I usually buy what I need just when I need it.
I somewhat agree with you because I have done that same thing. I will buy something and I'll bring it home and I'll set it somewhere saying like, I'll try to remember this. And then I'll go to do the project and I can't find it.
Yep.
Yeah. I have to end up going back to the store and buy more. And then about 2 weeks later, guess what? I'll find what I bought the first time.
I don't know if you've ever seen, Rockler sells this expandable hose that's supposed to fit any power tool and hooks to your shop vac. It's a blue flexible hose. Yes. I saw that in the catalog one day. I thought, I think I'm going to buy that because that'll really come in handy for my sanders. So I bought it. And when I got it, I thought, boy, this looks familiar. And I went to put it away where I put my vacuum hoses, and there's another one right there. I've done that.
Okay, how many people have done that?
But that's called age, though, and we're all there.
It's partly age too.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Between the age and the beer, I'll say.
Michelle Marcoux has joined us.
Bonsoir.
Yeah, bonsoir. Like I said, the rest of them still. Angela Kraus. I think she's new, or have you been on here before? I don't recognize you, Angela, but glad you're here. I'm glad you joined us. Thank you for being out there. Just to interject, and usually I do have a few things that are organized, like I've got this bin with the screws in it that, I have certain screws in that bin. And if I get down to where there's 2 or 3 in there, I'll buy, a big pack and just put them in that drawer. And the ones that don't go in the drawer, then I leave them in the big pack and stack them up on a shelf so I can get to them. Oh, not that kind of bin. These are
I'm talking about that store, and we were just there today, and it's like $5 for 4 of these things, and they hang on a little lip so you can just hang them on the wall.
Yeah. Mine's actually a square box, probably about 16 or 18 inches by 24 inches, and it's got little bins in it, and they're all plastic, clear on the front where you can see inside of them. And there's smaller ones at the top and larger ones at the bottom. And I keep that with the main screws that I use for 90% of my projects. And so what I do is if I'll pull a drawer and it's only got like 3, the next time I go to Home Depot, I'll buy a big box like Jim's talking about. I'll fill the bin and then put the box up on top of the shelf, and I'll have it for later on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but see,
Chris,
if I need a 1-inch screw, I'll take an 1 1/4 screw and cut 1/4 of an inch off of it.
Ooh, Mr. Frugal.
you could do that.
I'm kind of anal retentive about my glues. When the glue gets down to about here, which this one is, I have 1 full bottle left. When I go to Home Depot, I will be buying 2.
Yeah.
I gotta have plenty of glue around.
2.
One thing that you have that's nice about here that you're in Florida now that you don't have to worry about is the glue freezing.
Freezing, yes.
Yes.
A couple of winters ago, I forgot to take the glues out of the shop before I shut down. When I came out in the spring, I had 3 frozen bottles of glue, gallon bottles.
Yeah.
I have to take all my spray paint cans, glue,
Yeah.
the little
So
paint
you don't have
bottles, the dyes, all that stuff is in a couple of totes, and it just goes back in the house.
Yeah, we don't have to do that here in Florida. I mean, I had it one time cold enough, and this was years ago, that I left a bottle of glue in the shop, and the shop wasn't heated or had air conditioning in it, and it was out in the open shop, and it did freeze. But that's been a long time ago. That was the only time.
Yeah.
Do you have any amount of screws when you see them that you go by?
Well, I keep a list. Can't make that out
Okay.
with the light. Right now on it is glue, 1/2-inch screws, polyurethane sprays, cheesecloth. I'm all out of cheesecloth for wiping down sanding projects, and nails for the pin nailer. I went to use that the other day, and there was nothing in it. On the list it went.
Yeah.
It wasn't an emergency, so I'll get down there. But I'm a big offender of buying boxes of pencils.
Oh yeah.
Pencils. There's got to be 500 in this house right now.
Yeah. And you can't find a damn one of them when you want it.
Exactly. They're on sale. I'll buy them, and I'll sit there and I'll sharpen like the first box, all of them.
Yeah.
And the other thing I buy a lot of is when I think it's Home Depot, HDX cups.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If they're on sale, I'll grab a whole stack.
Yeah. Yeah. You
What
can
do you
use
use
them.
them for, Chris?
Everything. I've mixed paint in it. I put loose screws in them. I wash brushes out in them. I use it for everything. So I got to have a stack of them. So it's probably about 25 in the cabinet right now. Good at the moment, but I'll run out real fast.
And it seems like if you don't do what you do, it seems like every time you need to use one, you ain't got to clean one in the job.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about it.
I
Yeah,
just want little loose screws and attachments.
You'll put the brush in it, and I have done that before. I've put the brush in it, and it will be like a oil-based paint, so I'll put mineral spirits in it, and I'll say I'll clean it out tomorrow. Well, tomorrow never comes because when I come back to the shop, the mineral spirits is dried up, the bucket's no good, and the brush is hard.
You know,
I will say this, and I'm not going to tell you how I know this, but do not use it to clean anything with acetone.
Just saying, right, Donald? Just saying.
Saying.
Some tells me Donald's been down that road.
But hey,
Russ,
Aussie Man says I have way more screws now than I ever had when I was married. Fritzy Wicked Truth says I try to keep my loose screws in my skull.
Here we go.
How's the progress?
And everybody's saying hi to Angela, and she did say it's her first time in the chat. Glad you're here.
Hey,
Glad you're
welcome aboard,
watching.
Angela.
Subscribe to her YouTube channel. I don't know if she's doing anything, but
yeah, I'll subscribe to it afterwards. But we talk about all different kinds of things. I know it says let's talk shop with Russ, but the shop part means we talk about 3D printing, we talk about lasers, we talk about embroidery, we've had people talking about sewing. I mean, we've had everything on here. So
we're all makers.
Yep. That's
Speaking of 3D printing, I'm considering it.
You should, Chris.
I think you got to get off.
But I got to replace my racing chair first. That's $7,000 I got to spend. That has to come first. But then we'll see what's left in the bank then.
James Parker says, good night, everybody. Hope you have a great Sunday. I'm still not over my wife, so please forgive me. I'm working on getting better. No problem, James.
Hang in there, man.
I understand. I totally understand, my friend. So, hey, if you ever need to talk, I'm around. So just hit me up on Facebook, and I'll give you my phone number or whatever, and we can talk if you ever need to. Just let me know. So
one more thing about 3D printing, since it's become so popular, it's been at least a year since someone's told me you should get a CNC.
No, the next step up is a laser, Chris.
Yeah, exactly.
That thing I posted today on that Anycubic Mono 4K for what was it, $179? You're not going to find it any cheaper to that. If you're thinking about getting into resin printing, that's the resin printer that I have, and I paid, I think, $400 for it. So you're not going to get it any cheaper than that if you're thinking about getting. And resin printing is not that hard. No. You just need to watch more videos than I did when I started out, because I stuck mine right straight to the plate and it didn't want to come off. So, but it's actually once I've learned to use it and now I understand the process, and watch a lot of videos. And you definitely want what is called lychee slicer. That is the best slicer on the market, as far as I'm concerned. I saw
that movie.
Yeah, lychee slicer.
The negatives is some people don't want to deal with the chemicals. But the positives is you can print all miniature stuff like this, and it just comes out perfect.
Detailed too.
Yeah, it's detailed. Well, that's the one that I have is 4K. I mean, it gets really, really, really detailed. So, but we hit this. If you decide to go resin printing, hit us up. We can help. Some of us can help you with that too. So now, Donna, you do woodworking, embroidery, everything. So do you have any kind of a set amount that you? All right, what is it?
If I get down, when it comes to screws and stuff, if I get down to about a quarter box, I'm like, okay, time to get more. Because when I get to doing that, I might do 5-10 different projects. Well, I don't want to have to keep going back to the store. Wood, I go to the store to get, but the other stuff I make sure I got here. 3D printing, I probably have 20 spools of filament of different colors. Yeah, but I do have a dryer also, so if they've been opened, I put them in the dryer to where, make moisture. When it comes to embroidery, I have thread to where.
Holy crap!
Oh no, that's just one wall.
Oh, that's just one wall. That's just one wall.
That looks like my wife's sewing stuff.
Right. Well, you don't want to have to run out because I don't have nothing local to where I can get it local. So
you have to order
it. If I get down, I have 2 of each one. And I get down to where I'm almost done with one, I go ahead and do another order because it might take a week or 2 to get in.
Right, yeah.
And I don't know how long I'm going to be doing it. And there's just so many different things. But I'm out of room. I have 2 sheds. One's got woodworking, one has embroidery, and another one has that.
Bye, Paul.
Bye.
So, and Mark's like, you got to stop. I'm like, well, I need it. I have more fabric than our local Hobby Lobby does.
Don't even start that. My God.
My mother was a seamstress all her life. When she was 80 something, when she went to the nursing home, when we started cleaning her stuff up, it took 3 days to pull the fabric and stuff out of the sheds.
Since you've mentioned the filament and the dryer, let me explain to you what I did. I had several, when I was in construction, I had several, the round coolers that are, probably
The water coolers.
water coolers that have the
Yep.
spout on them.
Yeah.
Well, I had bought 3 or 4 of them because I had 3 or 4 crews, and each guy I would fill it full of ice and water in the morning, and they could, so they'd have water during the day, and I would check on them, make sure. And usually I had a foreman on the job, and he would call me and say, hey, we need some more water. I did that rather than bottled water because it was a lot less expensive to do that than it was to do bottled water. And not only that, then the plastic bottles, you got to get rid of them, And so what I ended up doing was they will hold about 6 rolls of filament, and 6 times 4 is 24 rolls. Well, what I did was I buy the gun cabinet heaters. They're a little tube about this long, and they don't have the end on them, so you can bore the hole and run the hole, the wire through the hole, and you can clip on the end. And then I bought a bunch on Amazon. They're about, I'd say as big as a 50-cent piece. They're humidity detectors that tell you the humidity inside there. And I just plugged that little gun cabinet thing in, and it heats up the inside of that cooler to the point that it dries out all the humidity. And if I don't open that cooler, it can sit there for 2 or 3 weeks, and I can open it, and the humidity in there would be like 20%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it'll do 6 rolls at a time. So I got 24 rolls of capacity.
Oh, wow.
And now, if you've got some really wet stuff, what I did was I bought the decadent, decadent, or however you want to call it.
Desiccant.
Yeah, I can't never say that damn word.
Desiccant.
Yeah, decadent is what you talk about when you're looking at a chocolate pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
I keep all mine in plastic bags to help with the humidity, but I still need to try them out. Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah. So what I do if I've got like a few wet rolls that I've left out and they're really, really wet, you just take this little thing and set it put the gun thing in there too, and set this on top, and this will help draw the moisture out and do it twice as fast. And you can get those. Huh?
How long does it last?
I've had one of these in one of my coolers for 6 months.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
How much?
Because you got to realize the heat. Yeah. The heat from the gun cabinet thing. The guns. It's supposed to be for the gun cabinet to keep the moisture out of there for your guns,
Right.
but it works perfect. It doesn't get that hot. I think the maximum temperature I've ever got with leaving it on for 24 hours, I think it got to be 90 degrees inside that cooler. So really, that's not that
That's
hot.
not bad.
Yeah. What do those cost?
The gun cabinet, you can buy them on Amazon for like $5.
The desiccant?
Wow.
No.
My house.
These, yes, I buy these by the 6-pack on Amazon. I don't remember what I paid for them, but I get 6 boxes at a time, and I like these better because they're thin. I've got the other kind. Here, let me show you.
Or I'll bet you a light bulb inside a cooler or something like that would do the same thing. It would keep it so dry.
It would, but I just didn't like the idea. The gun cabinet thing is a tried and true. It's a certain temperature, so you don't have to worry about it. This is the one that I don't like because it's so tall. I like these because they're flat and they can sit right on top of the top roll. So I tried these and I was like, yeah, this ain't going to work. So these are the ones I went to. But the thing about it is you can buy a cheap cooler at Walmart and turn it into a something to dry your filament.
We got so many coolers at this house. I ain't got to buy one. I go down to the market.
Well, that's what I said. I had 4 of them, and they'll hold 6 rolls apiece. So 6 and 4, that's 24 rolls I can keep.
Right.
Al, is there anything you have that you specifically keep on track? And
I try to have, I do have a little cabinet, and I've been working on little cabinets to organize and stuff. But where I've got 1/4 inch, I've got eights and sixes, like machine screws, small quantities, because now and then I need something. I have 3/8, but I normally keep just the standard stuff, the 5/16. On the deck screws, which I love to use, and I have some wood screws too
Those
that I
are
use,
great.
but 8s and 6s and stuff in different sizes. But the deck screws I get at one of the big box stores in a big old box like this, and then I gauge what's happening. Unless I get a special we want this made, and then I sit there and do a list and then go get the materials. But I guess screws are mostly the thing. I mean, glue, I've had a big old bottle of a gallon size of Type Bond. And I've been using it. I've been actually using it a lot more, lately anyway. But of course, filament, right? You got to keep that. You got to keep. I mean, because that's part of the shop, right? Like for the laser, I've got to keep acrylic, and I've got to keep just the same thing as you would for the scroll saw. Blades, the plywood, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever. But because stuff comes in all the time, and normally I'll know. I'll know if I have something or not, unless I've organized it and then can't find it.
Well, we
It's
all have
something-
that problem.
Right?
Something Al said, though, to get back to the screws and bolts and hardware and stuff, the company I work for is German, so we've got a lot of metric hardware on our equipment. So I'll just go on Amazon and buy these kits that have a bunch of different size metric nuts,
Yep.
Teflon lock nuts, all that
Great
stuff in
point.
it. Yeah, and then you at least have a bit. If you got to go to Menards or Home Depot or whatever and replenish it, that's okay. But you got like a little box with all the stuff in there,
Harbor Freight also has little kits of springs, of tap screws, not tap screws, but Allen screws.
Yes, they do.
Brass
Let me tell you
screws.
something that I discovered they did carry too. They have the little boxes of all the different little things that, like if you have to take your door panel off, all those little tiny plastic things that hold your door panel on your car. They have those because I need to take
hangers.
I need to take one of the door panels off of my truck because the automatic lock quit working. So I got to replace the lock. So I went ahead and bought that box because I know I'm going to break a few of them. So
this thing came with the. I just bought a new laser bed, and this came with the laser bed, about 10 of them, to hold the pieces down. But this is exactly what they stick in a Ford, hold the door and stuff.
Yep.
So
that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, hey, something else I keep is batteries in stock. I go to Harbor Freight and get their copper top. They're not copper tops, but they last as good as the real copper tops. They used to give these coupons where you could go get them, but not anymore.
Yeah,
the coupons are gone.
We keep a ton of batteries too, because everything you got has got batteries. TV remotes, your mouse, your toothbrush.
I keep both sizes, AAA and AA.
I have AAA, I have C, I have D, I have 9-volt, I have little bitty short ones, I have the little round ones and the bigger little round ones.
Well, I've had to order those, the little bitty ones. They're about the size of less than the size of a dime, because those little, here, I'll show you. Hold on, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, like this. I've got one right here, Russ. Look, these things you can actually go to Harbor Freight and get these little. There's a little pack of them of different sizes. That's where I got this one. If I don't drop it in my water, but that's a tiny
watch battery.
Right.
And at Harbor Freight, this sounds like commercial Harbor Freight. And at Harbor Freight, you can get the really, really tiny ones too.
My electric gate, I think it's called N size, so it's about as fat as a AA, but only about half as long.
Yeah.
Hey,
No, this is what I was going to show you. This is the gauge that I use for humidity in my coolers.
Yeah.
I bought a pack of like 10 or 12 of them. They were not that expensive. If you'll notice, the bottom number is the humidity. So right now it's 47% in this room, and the temperature is 78.
so the humidity is 47. It's 18% here, and it's high right now.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I
y'all
want
got
to show
that
you
dry
guys
heat.
something really cool.
Yeah.
We were talking about magnets earlier,
Yeah.
right? My wife comes in here earlier and says, "Hey, look at this," and you might want to show this. I'm going to move my water though, if you don't mind making me look at this. My wife brings this in and says, "Hey, look at these two magnets," and I said, "That's not two magnets."
Yeah, them are pin magnets.
Yeah. Look
Yeah,
at
I
this.
got a pile of them. Them are handy.
They are, and that's why I'm mentioning it. Yes. Look
I've
at
never
that.
seen them.
Look
I
at
use
that.
them. I use them when I 3D print boxes, and it pops the cover on.
Yes.
I
Dang, I
sink the
can't-
magnets in.
I have
Yeah.
never seen any of those.
Yes.
When
I designed them-
because
When I
these are
designed
so
them
handy.
splitter blades, I pressed them into that plastic, and then the razor blade snaps right on it.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And
There
like
you go.
To put stuff together, you can have a little panel with them glued on there. Glue 4 more over there. And thick.
No, that's a great idea.
Here's a little boxes.py box. with
Holy
the
crap!
magnets
You got
in
a
the
bunch
corner.
of them now. I mean, Dixon.
It
Yeah.
just snaps together.
I've got one.
Yeah, see,
I've
that's
got
a good
one.
idea, Jim. That's what I use
Yeah.
them for too.
What is it now,
Designing-
Just put
Jim?
'em- this is
Oh,
something
okay.
off boxes.py, and you just glue one in each corner,
Yes.
a pair of them, and then
Snaps
They just
right
stick
together.
together.
it snaps right together, and you can't really knock it
You know,
off.
that just gave me an idea. I'm gonna take my Kilroy coin, my half
Yep.
credit, and I'm gonna take another piece and do that to it. Make it like a little box, just 3 pieces of wood. Thanks, Jim. I love that.
JJE says, "Hey, Russ, are you trying to get my attention, or just say hey?"
Hey, J.E.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't buy one of these because you're just gonna fill it all up.
Right?
Aussie
Right?
Man says, "Thanks, Lynn. These days, I just buy smaller amounts more often than a great big gallon." Yeah, I have never bought a gallon of glue.
I have. Oh,
I just
He was
have not-
asking about glue earlier, that if you
oh, you got stuck?
Yeah, he's frozen up.
Yep, just
You're
froze
back.
up.
Say it again, Jim.
Yeah, he was asking about glue earlier, that if you let it sit for too long, does it not hold as well as it did
Hey,
when it was?
can
I
you
mean, if you
add
let it
water?
sit for a year, yes, but you can. It's good for 3 or 4 months, easy.
Can you add water to that glue and shake it up if it gets real?
It will. You can, but it will affect the adhesion part of it
a lot or
a lot.
it seems to be holding those little boxes perfectly fine.
Well, I'm not saying it won't, but we had the guy from actual Type Bond come and talk to our woodworking club, and he talked about that different stuff. Here's another thing.
I think
it
he's
can
kind of prejudiced
it
on
can
that one.
freeze one time.
Yeah.
You can
crystal.
freeze it one time and let it thaw out and mix it up real good, and it'll be okay. But if it freezes more than once, it destroys
Well,
it.
that's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah. But as far as adding the water to rethin it, no, it will mess with its adhesion abilities. And I mean, you do what you're using them those small boxes, so there's not going to be a lot of stress, so you shouldn't have to worry about it.
That'll be fine, but I wouldn't try to glue up a chair with it.
Right.
In fact,
Yeah, exactly.
That you don't want to
Type
do.
on 3, okay? It was like I don't know,
Yeah.
$8 a bottle at one of the local big box convenience stores. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but
Yep.
you know, everybody's got them in their town. But anyway, and they were $8, and I'm going, why do I need $8 glue when I got this stuff over here?
Yeah.
A little thick, but
It all starts out as PVA glue, and then they put
Right.
their additives to it. It comes from the same company, and then Type Bond will put their additives to it to change the structure.
Right.
Molecularly structured.
It's
Yeah.
all
But like I
free.
said, I'm not saying it won't still glue something. I'm just like I think it was Donald that said I wouldn't glue a chair with it.
Right.
You want to use the full
I
strength.
use the pin nailer.
Yeah. Russ Meadows is out there. Hey, Russ Meadows.
Russ.
He's out
Remember,
there. Good
we're
to see you,
talking
Russ.
about stocking screws.
What's
Sometimes
happening?
I won't have a screw, but I stock, and I forgot about this. I stock the different sizes of rod, and then I use rod with nuts. I mean, an emergency situation, or maybe I've got to get like a 2 millimeter bolt that long. Use a piece of rod.
Yes,
3D
I've got rod and nuts in my shop too.
If I'm short on drywall screws, I just take the ones out of my garage. The drywall in my garage.
Polly wants a crafter, which is Jerry Brown. Good to see you. He says, I've got 3 gallons of Type Bond. I have to keep it in the house in the summer and winter. Type Bond 3 dries slower than regular Type Bond or Type Bond 2. Yes, Type Bond 3 dries a little slower, but you can use it on outside projects and it won't give up. Now, I have used Type Bond 2 on outside projects and had good success too, but they will guarantee you that if you use Type Bond 3 on the outside project, it'll withhold longer than the wood will.
Yep.
And you've done it in humid Florida, right?
Yes,
wet
I've used
Florida.
it in humid Florida and had no problems.
So in Odessa, Texas, it should be fine.
Yes.
I've done it in freezing New England and humid Florida. Yep.
Now, again, I wouldn't use it to hold a boat together.
The boat? No, there's some glue that you use to hold the boat together.
We must use our common sense here.
Yes.
I wouldn't use it on my submarine that's going down to the Titanic either way.
Yeah.
We all live in
Yeah, the submarine. But no, the Type Bond guy was really good. He talked to us a lot about Type Bond and Type Bond 2, as somebody had just mentioned, sets quicker than Type Bond 3. It will set real quick. Matter of fact, if you needed to clamp something, you only need to clamp it for like, I think it was less than 5 minutes, but if you clamp something for 5 minutes, within that 5 minutes, that glue sets good enough. Now, I'm not saying that you can't pull it apart, but my point being is that you can release the clamps and set it to the side and let it sit for 6 or 8 hours, and you don't. That's it. That's all. That's all the time you need to clamp it is like 5 minutes.
I don't care what glue it is; those clamps are not coming off for 12 hours.
Yep.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Why you can never have too many clamps.
No.
Never, ever can never, ever have too many clamps.
Once again, if any of y'all are thinking about getting into 3D filament, these things, you can find them on Amazon. They take those little tiny batteries that, and you just take the little cover right here, and slide it off and slide the battery in. It will do in Celsius or Fahrenheit. That's the button right here. You can change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And I just cut the little board out and stick it because it's easier to hang on to it with the board than it is to grab all that round thing. And I can lay it down in the cooler with this little board on it and pick it up and look at it. But yeah, these work great for telling the humidity and the temperature that's in the box. You could buy like a 6 or 8, for a few bucks, and they work great.
And they have that under gun cabinet ones, or they got it.
What the heck was that?
I
had
vehicle driving by the
Go
garage.
by.
Yeah. They're gun cabinet rods, dehumidifying rods. They're about $20 a piece. Matter of fact, let me look real quick. I think I pulled it up. Yes, I did. All right, so let me present. share screen. I want the Amazon share. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
There you go. That's what they look like. And this little clip thing that's on the end does not come attached, so that you can bore the hole the size of the wire and slip it through it and then attach this thing. It's real easy to attach. It's simple. They use them. It's that one's 14 inches. So, but the ones that I buy, they don't come attached. You have to put the actual. It says that surface temperature of around 100 to 120 degrees. My coolers have never gotten over 90 running them, so I don't know why they're saying 100 to 120 degrees. So, and I've got 4 of them and run them, and to be honest with you, I haven't seen a drastic change in my electric bill as far as that's concerned. You know, I can't tell a difference running the 4 of them because I think they're very, very low energy consumption, so to speak.
Russ,
I mean, if I was running 4 of them for a month and I saw a $25 jump in my electric bill, I would be like, okay, yeah. But I haven't seen really a big fluctuation at all. So I'm going to see a big fluctuation. My electric bill last month was almost $500 from having to run the AC
crazy?
so much.
It was crazy. I can't wait to see this month.
Yeah.
Can you expand my screen, Russ?
Yes. Hang on just one second.
Solo man.
If you ever print with nylon, it'll suck the humidity up in, this is no kidding, in 10 minutes. So I bought my dryer at Piggly Wiggly and it was only $16.
What is it?
Oh, cool.
It's a wine box.
Yeah.
It's a wine box.
Where have I seen that up there?
Did you consume it before you started using it?
It's white Zinfandel wine box, and it only costed probably now it's probably $24 a box.
But what did you put in it to keep it from humidity out?
The bottom is full of 2 inches of desiccant pellets.
Yeah.
Really?
And I plugged the end off. Believe it or not, you have to plug that polyflow end off after you feed it to the printer. I plug it off just to keep it from traveling down that polyflow. The moisture. And you'll know right away when you print with nylon, it's very hard to print with, but it's as hard as a rock. You can hit it with a hammer and it will not break, and that's serious. But you'll be able to tell when you print with it, if it has any moisture, it sounds just like Rice Krispies. Wow. It'll snap, crackle, and pop as it comes out of the extruder.
So basically, you need to keep it in a dehumidified thing as it's printing.
Yep. As soon as you open it up, I stuck it in that box, sealed it all up, and then I take that polyflow.
So I could basically...
And when I use it, I attach it to my...
I could basically open it up, put it in here, and keep this on and print with it.
Yeah, you cannot let it get any air.
Right.
It'll suck the humidity out in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, this seal, this is really a good seal, to be honest with you, and it also heats. So.
Yep.
I got, I think 3 of these. Yeah. Because sometimes when I print some of the stuff I print, I'll be printing today and I'll be printing tomorrow and I'll be printing the next day. So I don't want to have to take the roll off and put it in the cooler. So I bought those and just keep them on top of the printer, and the filament stays inside that, and I keep them plugged in and they keep the filament dry.
Hey, Lens is asking if it'll dry wood.
What would those? Yes, it would dry wood. Yes, most definitely.
I'm wondering if it means from totally wet to say, I don't know, 8%.
I don't know. It'll suck the moisture out of the filament. It'll suck the moisture out of wood.
It's going to take longer with wood, quite a bit longer.
Yeah.
To get that percentage down, and there's a gauge that you can plug into wood and find out what the moisture.
They make a thing with pins on it, and you stick it into the wood, and it'll tell you how much humidity the wood has, and it's very, very accurate. They have one at I don't have one, but they have one at the wood place that I buy wood, and they can tell you what the humidity of that wood is before you buy it. Lynn wants to know what is Celsius. I have no clue. All I know is Fahrenheit. I just know it says. I know it says F or C, and I want the F.
Yeah.
I bought my humidity checker. I bought it from Blue Store, and it won't but about $15, $16, and it's probably around 20, 25 now. So
you bought it at the Blue Store, Lowe's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Home Depot has them actually.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, but you're right. Everything's jumped. Everything has jumped in price.
Yep.
Only thing I will tell you this much: lumber has come down drastically.
Yes,
but it's not as low as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be able to buy chipboard. I'm trying to think of the name of it.
MDF.
MDF. Not MDF. It's the big pieces of
OSB.
OSB. Thank you. I used to buy OSB for $8 a sheet, $7.99, $8.99 a sheet. So it's running 12. Yeah, it's running about $12.99 a sheet now. So it didn't come down as low as it used to be. So
I can't get 1/4-inch 4x8s at the blue box store anymore for some reason. I don't know. And it was after all that stuff with the ratings.
Yeah. It did change, and like it went sky high as came down. Now it's back to, I want to say, a more reasonable price. I mean, everything has went up, but lumber just went skyrocket. I mean, just through the roof.
Which that's just the corporate world, be it food or whatever. They're going to use any excuse to raise the price.
Exactly.
Gulch because they can.
A porch on the back over here, so I just have little steps. I need to build a porch, but I'm like, wood just costs too much right now to deal with that.
Yeah. Hey, you know a good thing you can do? You can buy bags of concrete, set them on the ground, and make your little thing the way, and wet them and keep wetting them. And don't step on them now until you wet them for real good for like a couple of days, and then let them dry out. And they will make you a concrete pad right there that you can walk on, and the paper will deteriorate and go away, and you still have the concrete.
It's like a big stone.
Yeah. Yep. I've done it before. Now the secret to it though is you got to keep it wet for a couple of days for that, because it's so thick. It's got the water's got to penetrate and make that chemical reaction happen all the way through the bag. So you got to keep it wet for a couple of days, and you don't want to step on it. And then once it has that couple of days, you let it sit for 24 hours. I got 3 of them on my back porch that we step off on, and they've been there for 6 years, and they're still there.
Wow.
I don't think that's OSHA approved.
Yeah,
I don't think it's OSHA approved though.
Hey,
I saw a lady the other day. I know this changes the subject, but I thought it was the coolest thing. She was mixing cement up, and she was she had a big roll of the like the stretch wrap that you use to put on bowls. But I guess this was the stuff that they put on wrap around packages or whatever. Yeah. But she had a big roll, and she had it set up where she would pull the piece out, right? And she would had a pre-measured thing of the cement. She would plop it down. She would cut the plastic. She would pull the plastic up, twist it, and set it on the ground. After she got that batch made, let's say it's a 5-gallon bucket, she would take those plastic pieces and put them over and take them over and put them in an area that she had made and flip them over so that the open part of the bag was on the ground, and she'd smush them down and make them like a perfect little stone. And she did that all through the thing, making a sidewalk with it, so to speak. Yeah, she made a sidewalk with it. Then she came back and she ripped the plastic off of it after they had hardened. And she put dry cement and wet it in between the cracks and filled it in. And it looked like a stone walkway, just as thick as could be. So I thought that was.
I was
I
helping
thought
a
that
guy
was.
build a deck one time, and when he was putting his posts in, he just put his post down there and dumped the concrete dry powder in there and
Yeah.
wet it like that.
Yep. I've seen them do that. Yeah.
Is that the 5-minute warning, Dixon?
No,
Yeah,
that's
is that the-
somebody's garage. Somebody's got crickets in their garage.
Yeah,
Either.
Oh,
You know what?
You can hear those
Yeah.
crickets?
I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you can hear those crickets?
Here's a
Yeah.
good set of steps. Just use pallets.
Yeah, you can just use pallets.
Okay, it's
Them
stopped.
crickets are horny tonight.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
That's not me. I got my phone on
That's
mute.
the first time
Lynn
I've
said
heard
he
it.
saw that video. Yeah, it was a cool video. I sit there and I watched it like 3 times. I was so amazed at the way it looked beautiful. It looked like little tiny stones about I'd say 5 inches, maybe 6 inches in diameter, and they were just all over the place. She'd sit them in there, and it looked awesome. I mean, it looked awesome.
Hey, you guys are
Don't
talking
you-
magnets. I want to show you. These 2 magnets are usually on a piece of string, and they're used for every time I drop a box of screws,
Yep.
drill bits, whatever.
Yep.
Because bending over to get them is not the easiest thing for me to do. So
Yes.
grab the string, pull them all up. Works wonders.
I was in the blue box store that I don't like so much one day, and they had a magnet about 3 or 4 inches in diameter on a pole, metal pole.
Yep.
And it was only like $10, and I bought it, and that's what I use. I just reach down with that and pick it up.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. But
Yeah.
I
use
actually gave
those-
this idea to Izzy Swan when he was having back problems. So
I use those round speaker magnets for when I'm drilling hole in a metal. It'll suck up all the shavings.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I never thought
great
about
idea.
that.
Jeez,
That is a good idea.
next time I'm drilling a piece of metal.
By the way, I'm watching a video of that process you just made. I use a form, and I mix 1.5 bags of cement, and then I pour it in there, and then I move the form to the next one. But this looks really cool. This
It does.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe my path is going to become these little stones now.
Yeah. I saw it and I was just amazed because it looks so cool.
Yeah, it does. It. Look at it. I mean, it's like all these little eggs laying down.
Yeah.
I'm on the lazy side. I call the cement guy.
You do what? You call
Well,
it
call us the
They
guy.
do make
flat slab.
templates for cement now.
Yeah.
That once they pour the cement, they can go along and put the
Yep. A
that
big
makes it
rubber.
look like rocks.
It's a
Yep, a
giant
big
cookie
rubber.
cutter.
It's a big
Yeah.
rubber,
The
a big rubber
box
stamp too.
back in the cement area and stuff.
Yeah.
I know
Well,
a guy
guys,
does that. He takes just a stick and he
They're
draws
blank,
his own stones right in the cement.
Yeah.
I built a screened-in porch. It looks really nice.
All right, guys, we're gonna say goodnight. It's 9:09. I'm ready to get out of here. So I appreciate everybody being out there. Dan Inge, Aussie Man, Michelle Marcoux, Angela Kraus, Russ Meadows, Lynn's Handcrafted Wood Shop, all y'all that's been out there. I appreciate it. Frenzy Wicked Truth, Jeremiah Brown, I'm just running back through people. Aussie Man, I think I said him. The Dutchman's Wood Shack, JJE. Thank y'all for all being out there. I appreciate it very,
By
very
the
much.
way, at Frenzy Wicked Truth, I want a picture of you wearing that colander you stapled to your head.
Oh my God!
Yeah, really.
Post it in my Discord, friendly.
Everybody's asking, how is Nancy? She's doing better. She fell and hurt herself bad. It took her this was on a Saturday. It wasn't until like Tuesday where she could actually get around real good. She was so stubborn that
Uh-oh.
I told her to go to the doctor and have her hand x-rayed because I thought she had an airline fracture and she hasn't gone. And so she has a brace that she got whenever she hurt her hand before, and she's wearing that brace. And this is the second week, and it's still hurting her real bad. And I said, "You have a hairline fracture, I'm telling you." So, other than that, she's a lot 100% better. Her scar, she actually hit. I don't know how she did it, but underneath her nose, right here, to her lip, she hit on the pavement. Her lip. She's lucky she didn't knock her front teeth out.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it.
And so the scars went away. I mean, the scabs went away and everything. That's healed over. You can still see it a little bit, but she wears makeup, so it doesn't matter. So, but she's doing better. Like I said, she planted face first on the ground, on the concrete, and it's just, yeah.
I'm glad you didn't laugh when it happened.
Do what?
I'm glad you didn't laugh when it happened.
No, I come out
You've been in trouble.
I literally come. I said this before, and she'll tell you the truth too. I came out the door, and when I came out the door, she's sitting on the. She'd sit up. By that time, she got up, and I looked at her at first. And I was like, "What are you doing?" It's like, what are you doing? Sit. And then it light bulb. Oh my God, you fell. It's like.
Levin's asking, is she blaming you?
No, she's not blaming me. No, it's just a freak accident. She fell, like I said. But I mean, you think about it. When you walk, we were carrying groceries in. I took my load in. I came back out. I see her sitting on the concrete, and then you'd be like, "What are you doing sitting there?" Have you took a break and decided to sit out on the job? I mean, I didn't have time to think that, but my first thought was, "What are you doing?" And then it was just a instant thing going, "Oh my God, you fell!" And I ran to her, and she was literally kind of dazed and confused. She was like, "I fell," and I said, "Yeah, I can see that now and everything." She goes, "Well, I need to stand up." I said, "No, let's sit here just for a few minutes and get yourself together before you stand up, because if you stand up and you're dizzy, you haven't got your faculties together, you can fall again." And so she sat there for a few minutes, and I said, "You think you can stand up?" And she goes, "Yes." So I got behind her and helped her and stood her up. And I held my arms around her and held her there for a few minutes. I said, "You make sure I'm going to start letting you go. You make sure you can stand here on your own." And she stood there, and I said, "Okay, I'm going to get in front of you and take you by the hands, and we're going to go in the house." So I helped her in the house. So, but yeah.
Better than what I did. I opened the door. Mark was laying on the ground, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Get in the house!" And I'm like, just sitting there waiting for him. And then he rolled over, and I'm like, "Oh, you fell. I got you." And I walked back in. He had no blood or nothing, so I knew he was fine.
Yeah.
See, in my family, the reply was, "What'd you do?" "I fell." "Well, that was stupid." My family.
But I still say that she fractured her. I think she fractured her hand. It would be. Let me hold it up. It'd be here. It would be on her left hand. It's right in this area here that it hurts. So I think she hairline fractured her hand.
Hand injuries are the worst.
Yeah. It hurts anytime she goes to grip something, and that's a typical hair. She said a sprain, and I said, I'm not saying it's not a sprain, but the typical thing when you grab a hold of something and go to apply pressure to squeeze it, and it shoots electricity up your arm, that's a fracture.
Yep.
So
and it takes a whole lot longer to heal up when you get older too. So.
Oh yeah. She's not a spring chicken anymore.
Well, since she got mad at us the other night, I'm just gonna go ahead and take her side.
Yeah. The best thing.
No,
and if anybody wants to know, we have shown some family members, like she showed her sisters, but it is not going up in any way, shape, or form on any social media. It is not going up. I promised her that, and I
shouldn't have made
just
that
don't.
post.
Huh?
I shouldn't have made that post then.
Yeah.
Hey.
No, she's been watching. She's friends with y'all, so she's been watching.
Jim posted his toe pin for
Yeah.
Really?
Well, that's Jim.
He didn't accept our friend's request for no reason.
Really?
Yeah.
It was not
I
our
looked at that and I
personality.
went, no way.
But you know, it was an hour later when she said to me, "You better not show that video." And I didn't. And at first I said, "Video? What the heck are you talking about?" It didn't dawn on me. And then I went, "Oh my God, you're right. Maybe the ring caught it."
Yeah.
Because I had not turned the ring off, and sure enough, it caught it.
You got to at least show us.
No.
We won't tell.
I will tell you this much. I will
Suicide.
ask her permission and then let her make the decision if she wants y'all to see it.
Russ said he ain't waking up with his bed on fire.
The answer is going to be no.
Yeah,
I will.
I'll ask her
Options.
permission.
Russ,
So-
here's her options. She could let us see the video, or she can come on and do a workshop confession.
Yeah, that would be a good one. That's for sure.
Without video, we won't ask for the video.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. That's for sure. So, all right, guys, we're getting out of here. It's 9:17. Listen, if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some sawdust, you're just too darn busy or you're lazy. So get off your butt, get out in your shop and make some sawdust. And in some cases, either burn the wood with the laser or use PLA and make something with it. So, but anyway, get out and make something at least.
They've
So
got wood.
just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair.
What
Good
hair?
night, everybody.
Hey,
Thank you for
bye,
watching
girls.
and God bless. Oh, and by the way,
Remember, you know,
Chris, we
you
missed
don't
your
have to go home.
little thing last week. We missed it.
That was
So
on
go
the
ahead.
road, so you
That's
don't
all
have to
right.
go home.
Say
You
it
can't
twice.
stay here.
Say it
You can't
twice.
stay here. Oh, you got to go.
Finish up your drinks. Let's go. Everybody out.
All right, let's go.
See ya.
What he
Hey.
said.